thank God it's Thursday, Healthy Thursday. Yes, where we talk about everything that concerns health. On Thursdays we used to come from the gym, and then we have to gym up just to keep our fit. We say our family is health when we talk about everything health. So Thursdays are dedicated, when we talk about health, we talk about everything that concerns health. We need to keep fit for the family, fathers, mothers, children, everybody. Aside that, Thursdays are days we talk about core health topics that, you've heard about, you've seen, but you don't know the in-depth of those topics. So on Thursdays on the show, we bring it up and then we discuss it. We have our medical teams in the house that have these conversations with us. If you're just joining us, you're watching Family and Values on Galaxy Television. Yes, we are reaching out for the stars. Okay, yes, the stars are always shining bright, My name still remains Joy. It promises to be another educative Thursday where we take you through the journey of health, and then make you understand certain things maybe you've experienced or somebody around you experiencing, but you don't know how to go about it. Thursdays are when we discuss all of that, talk about health, talk about everything that concerns us. So welcome to Family and Values. We are streaming across all our social media platforms. Please download the Galaxy mobile app so that you can watch us on the go. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. I would beg you, because there you have full videos of all the topics. We have had deep conversations on the show, and all those topics are on our YouTube, where you have our experts talking about various topics, from dating to relationship to marriage, even to health. So please, it's important to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can always have opportunities to watch this all over and share with people, and then turn on your Facebook and X notifications so that when Family and Values is on. It's important you don't miss topics when we are having the conversation. It's always deep, and then it gives you room to also send in questions. Yes, you send in your questions, and then we have our experts in the house that talk about it, that answer your questions to the best that you can have. When you stay informed, you stay educated and stay knowledgeable. Okay, today is the 20th day in the month of June. Gradually, June is running fast. When did we start June? When did we celebrate June 1st? And today is 20th already. Next week, the month is gone, and hey, July will be staring at us. So it's time for you to pick up yourself. Are you still delaying? Are you still in that euphoria of I will? Oh, I'm waiting. Procrastination is not the key. When we started this show in January, we talked about setting goals, and we said set your goals, run with it. Stop dreaming. Oh, I want to. No, get up, do it. Sometimes you don't need funds, you just need that will, that zeal to take that step. Plan yourself so that you don't get unaware. So that even when emergencies come, you're able to show down, and you're able to keep fit. Yes, we used to say that a beautiful family brings about a beautiful society. On that note, okay, now I know a lot of you are still expecting that I will introduce my better half the way I used to. Don't worry, she's fine, she's healthy, she's good, she's out of the hospital. She will join us soon. I checked up on her. I told her, don't worry if I'm missing you. Don't worry, Mama Jenzi will join us soon. So this is also sending a shout out to Lori, wherever you're watching us. I know you're watching this morning. We love you and we want you back on the show. But then health is wealth. Health is key. If you have a good health, definitely you will kickstart well. Your day will go on very well. Okay, this is sending a better shout out to everyone that is celebrating in this month of June. We are celebrating you. We love you. Happy anniversary to everyone celebrating. We are saying keep up the good works you are doing. On that note, let's go now. Mini future so that you have an idea into today's topic. Don't go anywhere, because it promises to be very, very educative. If something you need to tell somebody to tell another person that Family and Values is on. So come join us. Let's go now. Mini future. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back from that mini future. Okay, for those of you that are still joining us and yet to join us, this is Family and Values on Galaxy Television, where we are reaching out for the stars. And today is Healthy Thursday, where we talk about everything that has to do with health. And today's topic we are discussing menopause and its strains. I'm sure a lot of you are saying, why are you discussing menopause? You know, yes. We need to bring that conversation to you because research has shown that you don't need to be 50 and above before you start experiencing some things, you know. So with the nature of things, the way the world is going, it's important to have an idea about this. But hold on, don't worry. We have an expert in the studio that will be doing justice to this topic because this is her field. She's completely in this field of menopause. And we have our beautiful, you know, I used to take things from my guests, you know, definitely I'll take something from her because she's so beautiful. You know, when you see Ebony Black Beauty, you appreciate it, you know. Okay, join me as we welcome Oluwatoyin Labalaba. Okay, now Labalaba is her stage name.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way. That's what you use for radio, right?
Yeah.
Good morning, welcome.
Good morning, Joy. You're so joyful and I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, for those of you that don't know, she is the CEO of Amino Hub.
I'm the founder of
Amino Hub. That's a mission for women in menopause. So now you understand why she's the right person for this conversation. Thank you for joining us on
Thank
Family
you so
and
much.
Man.
You're doing a great job.
I appreciate the fact that you, even when you left, you just finished your show and then you came. It's a privilege for me.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Now, menopause. I've always, personally, I'm one person that is scared of this conversation because I feel like...
Scared? Is that the word?
I'm always like, why? When I hear people talk about menopause, I'm like...
What do you hear them say?
Not because I hear a lot. It comes with days, you know, somebody... and I'm like, okay, fine. So today we are going to be having all of that for people that are still young, that still have that mindset, so that they will understand. Because it feels like people that have menopause always come down with one problem or the other. I heard somebody saying, oh, I can't walk without socks in the house. All those things. I'm like, you're praying that you should stop your menstrual cycle. Now you've stopped that you should be rejoicing. Complications, I won't say complications, things are coming up. But let's start with what is menopause?
All right.
Our viewers to understand.
All right, thank you very much. One more time, thank you for having me on this show. You talked about me just finishing my radio show and being here. This is what I love to do. Okay. I love to have this conversation because a lot of women are suffering. In ignorance. The reason for the suffering is ignorance because they do not know. A lot of women don't even really know. I'm glad you're even talking about it. You're scared because you've heard things.
Yeah, I've heard a lot. I'm really going to talk about it.
Yeah, prior to this time, thank God for the conversation that is, you know, gearing up and all that. Prior to this time, people will be feeling stuff, but they don't know what's wrong with them. You understand? So they are not even connecting it to menopause. But thank God, now we know to connect. My leg is paining me, this and that to menopause. So what is menopause? Menopause is the end of the biological life of a woman. It's not the end of her life. Please mark you. Because a lot of the times what we try to do is, menopause has come, it's the end of my life, I'm dead. No, it is not. It is not. It is the end of her biological clock, so to say. You know, when she can no longer be productive, her productive life, let me put it that way. Okay. You know, but it's also, as that is ending, it's supposed to pave way into the beginning of another life, which is supposed to be a sweet life. But for the fact that we do not have much awareness or knowledge about menopause, and so the suffering comes. So menopause is when a woman has not seen her menstrual flow and she's within that age grade that your feature talked about, between 45 and 55, just officially, you can have earlier, and some can even be, a few can be later than 55 before they experience menopause. But between 45 and 55, a woman does not see her menstrual flow for 12 consecutive months. So if you don't see it for 5 months, and you see it again, you cannot say to be in menopause yet. If you don't see your period for 11 months, and you see it again, you cannot be said to have entered menopause. You know, but it's when it's 12 whole months, you have not seen it, and you are within that age grade, then that's menopause.
Okay, now last week when we were computing our topics and my colleague talked about you know, I was asking that, why did she choose menopause? I was expecting to see maybe an elderly woman that is coming like, and then I was saying, okay,
and from what I see on the screen, I look really elderly. I don't know why.
No, I'm serious. seeing you and I know you're very young, you look young and you know that. But why did you choose this path? Why menopause? Why did you decide to go on a mission like, okay, you know what, let's talk, let me pioneer this course? Why?
Well, maybe not pioneer it,
Okay.
but yeah, there are not many people doing the conversation yet.
Heard
You haven't heard it and all that,
foundation
but I honestly would say that maybe bringing it out in the forefront and all that, but the conversation is going around and more people are getting to know about it, just like they will get to know on this show. Why did I choose to do? I think this conversation chose me.
Okay.
Do you get? You know how some people say, no, music chose me and all that.
Okay,
I think menopause conversation chose me. Saw that I had a platform, and on my platform, women are suffering, not knowing why, and so menopause decided that, okay, you know what, Oluwatoyin Labalaba, you will be the one that will be used to, carry this on. So on my radio show, let me go to why now. On my radio show, it's about family life, couple intimacy, holy.
Okay.
So you find, there's always issue with couple intimacy with married people and things like that. So, on the show we try to wade in, is it because you don't know, is it because you know too much, and all of that. So, and it's live. So right on the show, we're able to ask couples to call in and tell us if they're having problems and all that. And some of them right there live, they are quarreling over this matter. And I say, yes, and I say, sir, what exactly is the problem? Why are you not forthcoming? Or madam, why are you not forthcoming in the other room and all that? And you hear things like, anyway, all the answers they gave were myths about menopause. My wife no longer does menstrual this, and I hear that if you have intimacy with somebody who is no longer menstruating, your hand can turn to the back. Wow. You can have cancer and all that. Your fortune will dwindle. All sorts of things. And I said, no, but there's nothing like this. These are just myths. So it's not good enough to know the myths and not know the facts. So I decided that, okay, I'll take it on and begin the conversation. Then as I took it on, I now realized that even I did not know as much as I thought I knew. So I went on to learn, to know, and to study. I even took some courses and all that to do this. Then some people came along and we did this together to make sure that the woman is better. Then I remember that, some of the things my mother suffered that we thought, because I remember when I was much younger then, my mom was ill. She just kept falling ill every time. My mom was a very energetic, hardworking, strong woman who would not naturally, readily fall ill. But at a point, she started falling ill and everything. She did not know. In fact, she didn't know until she entered her grave. God rest my mom's soul and all that. I remember one of the times I came back from school. I schooled in Jos. I came back from school because they had told me that she was ill. We went to the hospital together. And the first thing they did was, after she gave them the symptoms, the way she was feeling, they just said she had cancer. A specialist hospital in the west, in the southwest. I don't want to mention their name and all that because I'm not dragging anybody. This happened many months ago. They just said it was cancer. No screening, no test, nothing. But because of the symptoms, what am I saying? Some of the symptoms of menopause resemble the symptoms of other medical conditions. So we get into all that. I think I'm rushing.
Okay, no. I love the fact that you're taking your time to explain because it has given a broader knowledge to our viewers. Now let's talk about those symptoms because I've witnessed a few, but I will still go back to the myth of it because I've heard a lot, like I told you. Now, I was with someone that said she cannot walk on tiles. She has to put on socks. And I'm like, hello.
Excuse me.
She's carrying socks in her bag. So if she's coming into your house, she'll have to put on socks. Or you allow her enter with your shoes. And I'm like, is this one of it? She said yes. And then another one, she said she used to have excessive heat, like it's burning. I'm like, is that not internal? She said no. Like even when everywhere is school, she's sweating random. So that's one of the commonest. That's one of the commonest. Now, those major ones that people because you said it's kind of related. Those symptoms.
Yeah, some of them. Some of them are related. Okay, so you talked about hot flashes. That's excessive heat and all that. You feel heat like, as your feature story said, it can last between 30 seconds or 3 minutes and 10 minutes and all that. That's the hot flashes. One time, you are just down, with sweating and of excessive sweating, and that's one. There's insomnia. You're not able to sleep because basically during menopause or perimenopause. I also wanted to talk about the different stages of menopause. There is perimenopause. What is peri? Peri is around menopause. You are not yet in menopause, but leading up to that, that is a stage. And that is actually when you feel most of the symptoms more than even when you have entered menopause. Because really entering menopause is one day. The day that it clocks 12 months that you've not seen your period. Right after that day, you are post-menopausal. So most of the experience is perimenopausal, which is before you hit the 12, And because if you don't know, you don't carry on some of those things. You don't know, so you don't know to take treatment or management. Yeah. Maybe not treatment, because menopause is not a disease. Okay. It is no sickness. Please you said yes, menopause. Where's my camera? Menopause is not a disease. It's not even a virus. Neither is it an illness. Neither is it a curse. Because with what you were saying, one could say, I be woman offend God,
you understand?
She's the one when she wants to start menstruation, she's going all those stuff. Then childbearing, all those stuff. Then now, when you think you're done and you should just start life again, you are doing this. The reason, really, for menopause, whatever stage it is something that God blessed us women with. Estrogen is the hormone by which we reproduce, by which we procreate. You understand? Is the hormone that is responsible for you having your period, getting pregnant, being a mother, all of those things. Then at a point, as I say at my conversations, I like to break it down so you'll understand it. As at a point, it's like when you're working with maybe a place like this or civil service. At some point, either you've spent 35 years or you are 60, you are expected to go on retirement. Just the same way with these hormones.
So they are supposed to. Menopause is like a retirement for
no, estrogen is retiring.
It's retiring, okay.
Estrogen begins to decline. The level of it is the same estrogen that is responsible for us from the very beginning. That's why some women, when it's not balanced, you understand, with progesterone, when it is not balanced, I don't want to speak all that but when it is not balanced, when those hormones are not balanced, that's why sometimes, even if you're not in menopause, you can have issues with I'm sure you've heard hormonal imbalance, irregular menstruation, and all that. So that's what's responsible. So at a point, at a stage when estrogen is preparing for retirement, when you're at work, you'll be saying, I'm retiring in 2 years' time, so you know how to begin to do your work. And estrogen is also saying the same thing in our system, but because we do not understand the language, it's not communicating to us. It's already telling you that by this time I'm winding down, but because you do not know. Do you understand? So at the end of the day, these things come crashing on you. You know that you wake up today, you are in high spirits, and maybe after you have your bath, you want to rub cream, and it's like, why? I'm dulling again. That could be part of it. Fatigue. Fatigue is also one of the symptoms, you understand? Insomnia, as I said, when estrogen is no longer in the system like that, what it used to provide for us is no longer there like that. It's like a house with windows and mosquito nets. Now, no windows, no burglary, no mosquito nets. All sorts of things will crawl in and do damage. And so it's the same thing. So there's a lot, sleeplessness, even dryness. Skin can be dry. Everywhere can be dry. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Low sex drive. You don't even want to hear of it. Mood swings, irritability, crankiness. You are just angry for nothing. Later you tell yourself that, why I convex like that now? I did something, they worry me. And the people around you are not aware. They are not aware of this thing or what you're going through. Some of them will say, Abi, coin this, don't they enter? Some people will say, I'm village people. Especially when you're feeling these symptoms, I'll still mention them. When you're feeling these symptoms and you've gone to the hospital severally and you've run all the tests and they say, but you're okay, stop coming here. You now say, why am I feeling this way? At the end of the day, if you are somebody who believes in all those,
then you want to find spiritual solutions.
that's it. You will now say it's village people. You probably say it's your neighbor in the shop. Meanwhile, what I always say is, even your neighbor in the shop, if you're in the same age grade, is already thinking that you're also the cause. Because she's also feeling that people are not speaking up. So now that we're having this conversation, people say, oh, you mean it? You know, it affects oral health. Somebody has never had mouth odor could just suddenly begin to experience that.
Okay, I'm
body
going to
odor.
hold you on that. I'll hold you on that.
That's
Let's
okay.
go on our word of Mabu. We'll be right back because this conversation, I told you, is very educative.
We can't even finish it
We can't finish
in
it.
10
We'll be
editions.
right back. Menopause and its strings. Trust me, this is one conversation every man out there needs to listen to. You know, sometimes you hear things like this, you share with your partner, you share with your daughters. There's something about pre-knowledge. It helps you, it equips you. Trust me, I'm learning because before now, I've always had my fears, and I was even telling her before we came on air, I was saying it that I have this fear. You know, at 30-something, I'm already scared. Like I'm having pre-anxiety. Like, hey, so is this what I'm going to
Anxiety is one of the symptoms, by the way.
Okay, okay. So
Heart palpitations is another. You know, osteoporosis is another. And what is osteoporosis? The thinning of the bones. You see, as you age, it's with everybody, even men. You know, men have their own anyways. It's called andropause.
Okay.
Another day we'll come talk
have
about that. Yes, another day.
Yeah.
So osteoporosis or osteoarthritis, because of the thinning of the bones, the cartilage that joins the bones and all that wears out. It's still part of the estrogen decline thing. You know, so a whole lot of those things happen. And do not be scared. It's okay, yeah, you will be scared when you do not know. But what is, I don't know if we are permitted to speak vernacular here.
Yeah,
say, I don't even know there's a proverb, I think it's an adage, that says, kilondu mohuru, something, you know, that is, you know, like secret. But when you've been opened up and all that, you can no longer scare me. You can no longer scare me. So I used to say, menopause is masquerade. The masquerade that beats you and you don't know where the cane is coming from. But soon as you know, knowledge is what removes the veil from the lagbaja. Menopause is like lagbaja. But as soon as, once you have knowledge, like what we're sharing right now, you now know that, okay, so when I feel a certain way, and I've gone to the hospital, I need to clarify that. See, when you feel those stuff, even if naturally this is the age, the phase of life that you're in, but just like I said, it shares symptoms with other conditions. So just go to the hospital first.
Certify that you're okay.
That this is what it is. They will run a menopause test on you, and people say, no, even a doctor has told me before, there's nothing like a menopause test. Of course there is. They will run that and check your estrogen level. When they check it, they'll say, okay, so that's it. That's why sometimes when you go to the clinic, at a certain age, they will ask you, so what's your age? In fact, everybody is supposed to feel the age. When the doctor hears what you have to say, it goes back to your file to check. Okay, so she's 55, she's 52. This could be this. Do you understand? So don't be scared, just acquire the knowledge. And as you said, even the men in our lives, not just necessarily our husbands, our sons, our colleagues, and your colleague was saying when we were on that break that now I know when you bring your rishi, I know not to think that is she crazy, is something wrong with her. It's the time to support the woman. The woman has supported her society, her core, for all the time. The woman is trained from the very beginning. Take care of everybody around you. You are the center of society. Make sure everyone is fine. This phase of life is when we should look back, give back to the woman with your support. Even if she's coming down with emotions, rush, and all of those things, please take it easy with her. Some men, do you know that in menopause you can have incontinence? Incontinence is as we're here, and I laugh. Maybe something is funny. Pee can just drop in my pants.
Wow.
No, yes, it's like no guard. Because the thing that used to provide guard, burglary proof, mosquito net, don't forget what I said, is no longer there or is on a very minimal level. You understand? So men should know to understand with us. So that, for instance, when your wife says, when you want to touch your wife, and she goes, even she does not even know why she's saying no. But a lot of the times, because how men are wired, they just vex. What is this? Even I've heard women tell me that, you know what, I say I not do again. Just go and look for a woman that will start to leave me concerning this. And it's because her body is dry. Her skin is dry. Her under there is dry. And when it's dry, what can anybody do?
Okay, now, how do women in that age manage the symptoms? You know, like you just said something, especially when it comes to sexual intercourse now. If you're that type that you don't want your partner to go, how can you help yourself? How can you manage most of the symptoms? You know, I've had, you know,
You've heard all sorts.
I've heard all
Can
sorts.
I shock you? Even one of the ways you can even manage menopause is to have correct intercourse.
Wow.
Don't stop it. However, you know your body is dry. You don't want it. But if this is something that would also help you to navigate nicely. That's the way I put it. So what do you do? It's not only just for the couple, the intimacy part and all that, for every other thing. Menopause should be managed. It's a time of life when the woman, in fact I call it the baby girl life. The baby girl life in the sense that you are not afraid of, oh, I go carry belly, I go swallow cockroach and all that. Nothing like that. But why it cannot be all baby girl for you is because of these things you're feeling. So how do you navigate? How do you manage? Because it's to manage, it's to get relief. We are not trying, I'm not making my conversations to try to get you off of menopause. Some people do that. They say, no, I don't want it. Okay, I want my period to come back. Why do you want it to come back? It's like you want to turn your hand backwards.
Your hand backward and return back to you.
You want to turn your hand. You can imagine how it is. Turn your hand backwards. So you are running against nature that way. I know some people do it. And like your feature story, because I listened, said some people are not 45 years, but they enter menopause because they've removed estrogen from their system. When some people will have fibroid and all, they say, you know what, to keep your life, let's just remove this thing. Maybe you are done having children, oh yeah, and maybe they remove it at 35. In fact, I have somebody in my hub, she's 31.
And they removed her?
Yes. And she's experiencing the symptoms like mad. So how do you manage it? That's the question. Number one, you see, estrogen is what is left the system. So eat things that will boost estrogen in your system.
So at this point, your diet has to be
You must be on a very good lifestyle. And when I say lifestyle, I mean diet, I mean exercises and all that. And if you are somebody like us, you know, because you are not thinking that one day menopause is going to come, you have been living anyhow. So when they come, you know, and tell you, no, you should do exercise and all that too, because you are still very okay. Yeah, nothing is wrong with me now. But excuse me, I'm still okay. I'm still, you know, some years back, I like to wear my shoes. I don't know if I can bring it up. My shoes are like that, platform shoes, very high. So one woman saw me and said, by the time you are 40, you'll understand. She did not know that I was already past 40 at that time. So some people will see that and say, I cannot wear this again, because your system can't wear it anymore. You are not used to it. So if you have not been used to living good lifestyle, by the time menopause comes, it's going to be Herculean. However, if you keep at it, just do what you're supposed to do. One step at a time, you'll be fine. So how do you do it? Good lifestyle, exercise, no matter how little. Like me, I always tell people, if you live upstairs, make the most of it. Go up and down just by walking alone. Some people say, no, me there. This one way transport don't even expensive. And I walk a day now. No, the walking that you do as exercise is different from that other walking. So brisk walking and intentional walking. I'm doing this walk as exercise. That's very important. Water is very important. You know, I talked about dryness.
Yes, you said so.
You are dry. That's why, you know, someone will say, I used to have very...
rubbing cream and like...
What is wrong again with me? You know? So water, you know, because the menopausal woman can be dehydrated and all that. So you need to hydrate. Water is very good. You know, I've talked about this. And then also, maybe the icing, you have to supplement. If you can get supplements from what you eat, for instance, any supplement that has black cohosh, all these things, which we may not know, if you can get them naturally, feed on them. If you cannot, like me now, I cannot, these things look nice, I know they are just, you understand? I cannot, and besides, the fruits that we get now,
they are not even
you
organic.
cannot be sure.
Because a lot of
You cannot be sure.
fertilizers
So if I have a supplement that takes care of all of that and tells me, take one at this time and all that, this dosage is inside. Because for instance, they say eat banana. How many bananas should I eat? You know, when I started lifestyle, whatever, in I think 2016, I would just say, because this one is fruit, blah, blah, blah. Did you know that once you take 2 bananas, you should be done for the day? You will say, now fruit. My mom will tell me, go and bring me bunch. It's only fruit I'm eating. She will eat everything. Yeah, you don't over chop.
Okay, now let's talk about the age range. You talked about a lady that removed it. Now, for someone who is still very much, I think I've had a case where a lady went into early menopause. Is there something like that?
Yeah, sure,
I think
sure.
she was about 38, and it became a concern to her. Like, doctor, what
No,
do
she
I
would have
do?
done something to get
Okay.
into that element. Something would have happened in her system
Now,
to get into that.
okay.
But 38 and 45, they are not so far, because 45 and between 45 and 55 is given as a range.
As a range.
As a range, yeah.
So that means they can be early menopause and they can be late menopause.
Yeah, sure.
Now, aside surgery, is there any other, like you talked about fibroid, you said if somebody has fibroid and then you just, okay, let's remove the entire thing, you know, definitely you're going to come down with menopause. Now, aside that, what are other ways that a woman, because we are really talking to women out there and men, so that the lifestyle you live will determine how far you
Whatever menopause meets on you.
meets on you.
It will now amplify it.
Imagine.
So if menopause meets you, a laid back or lazy person, expect amplification of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's like it's piling up and it's saying, I'm waiting for you. Live your life carelessly, I'm here waiting for you and all of that. Now, but then, have we had cases where in the course of your mission, have you had cases like a woman has been confirmed that, okay, this woman is menopause, and then 2 years later, she starts seeing her menstrual cycle? Because I had a case of a very close person to me told me that the moment she lost someone, and this is somebody in menopause, and the moment she learned that instantly she had her menstrual cycle. What could
That's
be
not
responsible
okay.
for
You
that?
just talked about it. Something happened that triggered that in her system. So it's not like she's going to continue to have her period.
Okay.
It's just something that happened at that time. Some people react like that, you know. Even your future, I keep referring to it because when I heard it, I said, I don't finish talk now. You understand? You know, we react to things differently. For some people, instead of that her period, boom, coming out, and it's not her period, it's just she just saw blood.
She just saw
Yeah,
blood.
it's no
So
longer
that means
period.
It's not like the remaining one that was hiding somewhere.
You know, she still has blood flowing in her veins. Anyway, so it's just that's her response or maybe reaction to that loss or something that happened. And it's not like, okay, she will now start buying pad again. You understand? So you were talking about other things. For instance, some women think they want to just be girly. I'm done having children. Before this one will do me belly again. I don't want again. And all that. Say, I beg, take this thing out. Hysterectomy. When you do that, it's like also taking your womb out and all that. So that's also.
Now, have we had cases where contraceptive contributes to early menopause? Because, you know, some people will say, okay, I don't want to have children, and then they keep taking contraceptive, and then it gets to a point, I feel like it gets to that point, your system is already used to it. Have we had cases like that?
Yes, and even some contraceptives or family planning methods, they are supposed to hold your period, but some of them go the other way. So they hold it and they don't release it when you need it.
It becomes,
And once it is held, that's menopause.
That's menopause,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Or you begin the process of them.
Begin
So
the process.
I know many people who come to me, many women who have come to me to say, now planning I do,
And, you know, I've had a
and my
case like
life
that,
has
and
now
you know,
gotten
it
worse
has
and all that.
gotten worse.
Some of the people in my hub have been taken to psychiatric hospitals. They are right now on psychiatric medication. But now that they know that all along this is menopause, they cannot just get off of the
those
medication right away. They have to be managed out.
Okay. Okay, now let's round up the show, please. I want you to.
Are we rounding up already?
Yeah, because I
Aww.
want you to. We are never always having enough time to have our conversations. We'll still bring it back for the party when we talk about the men aspect of it. Now, I want you to clarify those myths that comes with menopause, because, like I said, there are people like me out there that were out scared. But now with all this knowledge, even if I'm talking, I'll talk like a pro. You know, don't worry, don't worry. So
don't worry, you'll be
myths,
fine.
I really want you to really clear it out there so that we stop these complications men are having.
Yes, you know, people say that if you mate with somebody who is no longer having their period, you could have cancer. You know. By the way, bloating is also part of the symptoms.
Okay.
You know, some women before will say, no, it is when I have sexual intercourse, when I'm no longer having my period, that my tummy will get bloated. It's a symptom of menopause, whether you have sex or not. And by the way, I've said now, having sex helps you to navigate better, because it releases hormones, feel-good hormones and all, because one of the symptoms also is sadness. You are just sad for no reason, depression, stress, a lot of those things. So you find a woman that is in menopause, this time she's laughing like then the next thing you think, are you okay? Are you alright? So those myths are related to that. You understand what I've just talked about?
So the issue of having sex and
I wish that your people could ask us questions. So
we will always allow them send in questions, and when they send in questions, we'll call you and say, okay, they've sent in these questions. Answer. But I'm happy with the fact that you've given us a broader knowledge of what menopause is all about, the symptoms, and then those myths, those ones that scare men anyway. So men out there, please don't be scared if your wife finds herself in the cycle. Thank you very much for being a part of
Thank you for having me.
This morning we have yes,
for real. For real.
Yes, we have Vigil Coffee and Vigil praying for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate.
Thank you
so much. I appreciate. Thank you. Thank you for the beautiful work you're doing.
We are going to bring you back for part 2, especially when you talk about the fact that men also experience it. Okay, so we'll listen to that conversation.
Thank you so much.
Okay, please, your social media handle so that a lot of people will follow.
Okay, where I'm having the menopause conversation is on TikTok, though it's in vernacular, but of course you will get to understand what I'm saying because I mix it. My vernacular, my Yoruba is cosmopolitan, so you'll get to hear. And on TikTok, I am Oluwatoyin Labalaba. Let's leave it like, if you type that, if you search for that, you'll find me.
Of course, I'm definitely going to search for that so that I will find you. Thank you very much. Okay, tomorrow is
So
Friday.
let them know that they can also contact you to get easy.
You can. We'll send you your contact so that they can, or to be on a social media platform so that they can contact you. Yep. Thank you very much. Tomorrow it's Friday. Yes, as we round the week, we will be discussing gossip. Yes, a lot of you that belong to that class, gather here tomorrow. We will be having that conversation. What is gossip? Everything that has to do with gossip, we'll be having that conversation to round up the week. Thank you very much for being a part of Family and Values this morning. We really appreciate it. Stay healthy, and like you had the conversation about menopause today, please share with your loved ones. It's important they get to know this knowledge. No knowledge is wasted. Young girls, young boys, husbands, wives, call them, listen, share this, and so that they'll be knowledgeable to know what is happening around them. Thank you very much. My name still remains Joy Abu. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a blessed Thursday.